let's talk about post-traumatic stress on a soul level. So when I started becoming aware of Soul PTSD, that is when I started learning all this stuff about my own Akashic records. And I'll give you an example. What is Soul PTSD? If there is a hair in my food, for instance, I will have a very extreme reaction that is out of proportion, or that seems out of proportion. And then I started putting all these puzzle pieces together, and I saw, well, Rayan saw it too, and we put all the puzzle pieces together, how in a lifetime, a long time ago, I was basically choked by, they put a bunch of hair in my throat. So now if I'm eating and there's a hair in there, I will start choking, I will feel like throwing up.
I think the biggest issue we see with people going through their awakening journey is they go through some earth mundane level trauma, and I'm not minimizing it, but I mean the earth plane. They had abuse in this life, the relationship with their parents, they were betrayed. They go through a dark night of the soul of the 3D per se. And then they all of a sudden feel that they've mastered this subject and they've mastered this knowledge, and they're ready to teach people about all these other dimensions without realizing that they have layers upon layers of soul PTSD embedded in their body, embedded in their emotional body. So the moment you go through one layer, one dimension of that PTSD, you're going to then open up the other layer. So we have a lot of people right now who have a bunch of layers of soul PTSD that are claiming they've burned away their karma, that they get to leave this earth, that they have activated their 12-strand DNA. And that's where you start to see people move into a spiritual psychosis space, because their soul PTSD is still running their default mode system within their body.
The thing is also, once we switch from a linear perspective of our Akashic records, our soul records, to a multi-layered spider web structure of how all these things are connected to each other. And that was some kind of
I don't know what that was. It's back.
It's the sun. Anyway, if you look at your higher self as the middle, the center of the spider web, and then you have all the threads, which are all the soul experiences in all the chosen timelines. For example, this thread is the Middle Ages. You have a thread that is the Pleiades. You have a thread that is the future. All of these are connected. So if one thread vibrates in the web, the whole web is going to move.
So the problem is that people still try to limit their multidimensional nature, because even when you move into relationships that are with others who resonate at these higher dimensional levels, you're still going to catalyze trauma and karma from these other lives. And karma doesn't necessarily mean you've done mean things to other people. It could mean that things have happened to you, but nonetheless, karma is trauma. And so the depth of soul PTSD has to be welcomed rather than ignored and trying to be avoided, because I think that's what a lot of people are doing. They think ascension is going through a 3D dark night of the soul and then you're good and everything's perfect and you're a master teacher, but that's not how it's working, and that's not how it's going to be on this planet for a while. We're all going to be healing together as souls because we have a lot of soul PTSD.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's natural in the beginning, early stages of the awakening to feel like, oh, I want to go home. I don't want to be here. Because it is on a soul level, PTSD level, it's your survival mechanism kicking in. You need to flee. You want to get out of the situation. But when you go full circle and you work your way through most of the post-traumatic stress on a soul level, you're going to actually want to be here. You are going to see the spirituality of Earth. And you're going to see that you are not in your last life on Earth or whatever, and you're not going to be picked up by the aliens. You want to be here. You want to anchor into the planet with all of that healing so that the planet can then lift up and ascend.
So if you want to work with us, if you want to understand your soul PTSD, or maybe PTSD that you've just experienced in this current life, which is still going to be soul PTSD, we have a lot of different services which you can find at the description thing. Yeah, the
Yep.
link in our bio.
Read the stuff under the video. Bye bye.
Bye bye.